Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Skratch. This video is brought to you by Warcraft Rumble, so I just want to say a big thank you to them for sponsoring today's video. Today, we're going to do a guide on the Deadmines dungeon. So this is the dungeon that we have this week for the Beast Leaders. Now, I want to do a guide on every single one of the dungeons. So every single week, guys, keep an eye open. I will be posting a different guide for each one of them. And basically, I'm going to share with you what's the best deck to use, on what leaders you should work from the ones that you have available if you don't want to work on all three of them, which I would strongly suggest you to do. And yeah, without further ado, let's dive straight into it. Now, my main advice to you guys, and this is a bit off topic from the dungeon, I would recommend you to work on a core team and take them to the highest possible level that you can do, basically. It doesn't matter if they're beast minis, if they're something else. The main thing is you want to level up a core team that will enable you to push higher in campaign, push higher in dungeons, etc. It's very, very important, and this is the way how you're going to succeed in the game. This is my core team. I know you've seen it in some of the previous videos that I'm kind of like using the same minis. That is the whole idea behind it. I'm trying to level these minis more and more and more every single day. So when I get to the higher stages in the campaign, the higher stages in the dungeon, I'm going to be able to beat them. So right here, guys, this is the deck that we are using. I am using Old Mark I as the leader. I will try to level him up a bit more and basically unlock all of the auras for all of the minis. He is a very squishy leader. Okay, I have the Marathon of the Murlocs on as a talent, which basically gives me 5 additional seconds when I'm deploying units after him, and he will summon Murlocs. In terms of what he can do, to be honest, he does AoE damage, ranged, he's pretty fast, elemental damage, but he is very, very squishy, so you need to keep that in mind. He really needs a lot of protection, so you will need to put in a good tank in front of him, and to make sure that he's not basically outspeeding your tank. You need to time it just right. Now, I only have him as an uncommon at the moment, but I actually kind of like this leader. We are going to use the Harpies, we are going to use the Quillbore, we're going to use the Fire Elemental tank, one of my most favorite PvE units in the game. We're going to use, of course, the Troll, very, very solid unit. We're going to use the Safe Pilot. I would strongly suggest you to bring in a spell. You're going to have tons of waves of enemies coming your way, and I feel like the Blizzard spell is actually going to be very, very helpful in here. I do have the Cold Snap on this one, just to basically help us and keep the enemies in place. You will encounter quite a few strong tanks. Now, I'm not at maximum level on this dungeon just yet, guys. I don't want to keep the video too long. Starting with the very first boss, guys, relics will be very important, so keep in mind whatever leader you guys have available too. For example, Bloodshot Graves, right? If we have less than 3 active minis, we're going to get Bloodlust. The leader that we have on will summon a lot of Murlocs, so this will not be the case very often. So I'm going to go with this one instead. At least we're going to have them make boom, especially that we're going to have a lot of minis. So Mr. Smite, he is a pretty interesting... So Mr. Smite, a pretty interesting boss. Now, the mechanics are actually the boss stunning you and kicking you away. It does have a lot of summoned units already, a lot of minis around here. So you kind of like need to be prepared. We have 2 different stones that you can capture right here. I would suggest you to start with the left one and then move over to the right one if you're not finishing the boss in time. Unfortunately, we don't have a tank coming in right here, so we're going to have to basically deploy some different units to get the Murlocs out, you see. We're actually in a pretty good spot like this. I am a bit over level because I'm not trying to keep this video extremely long. I just kind of like want to discuss about the mechanics and other things like this that will be pretty important. We can capture that stone as well if we want to, just to kind of like make sure that we're gonna be in a sweet spot. And then we're gonna deal with the boss. We're going to put a tank right here to make sure we're taking those units down in time. We're not too worried about our tower right here for the moment, but we do have this tank coming our way, so we're going to deploy a Murloc right here. We're gonna summon a few units in a second to assist us a bit and take the enemies down. In the meantime, we lost that stone on the side, which is fine for the moment. We're going to deploy some flying units to try and get the boss down. We're going to put our miner to try and collect some of that gold. We definitely don't want to allow them to capture the gold. So I'm waiting for the spell. We're going to put a spell right here to stop that wave of incoming enemies, you know. The boss is pretty low, so once I'm going to deploy a tank, I will wait to gain a bit of extra gold. Seems like I just misclicked it. Unfortunately, I was gonna wait to summon the Murloc first and then the tank, but I just dragged it from mistake with my with my mouse. Okay, so it did not work as planned, guys. But that's fine. We are getting closer to the boss. The boss is pretty low. We still summoned quite a few Murlocs. We will deploy right here the safe pilot, and it should be GG's. There we go. Basically, don't do what I did. You want to summon the Murloc first, or place the Murloc on the board first, and then summon other units. You kind of like want to stack as much gold as possible. You have 10 seconds to place more minis on the board, and during that, for every gold, you're basically going to summon a Murloc. That's the whole idea with this leader. It's actually a lot of fun because you can spam a lot of Murlocs if you're doing it right. So we're gonna move over to the next boss. Slightly different mechanics, of course. This one, how you probably noticed, it stunned us quite a bit. So we have flying minis gain poison, spells that are cast are 3 levels higher. That can be very effective. Or your beast minis gain 5% additional movement speed for each other mini nearby. Not a big fan of that one, to be honest. Even though with the Murloc summoned, it could be massive. The thing is, the rest of them will already be towards the front. So I'm going to go for the spell. 3 levels higher on the spell will definitely put us in a much better position because we will encounter a lot of waves. You're going to see it in just a second. So just to start with, right there you have a lot of incoming enemies, and you will wanna stop them somehow, you know. So we're going to deploy the miner first. Unfortunately, no Murloc available for the moment. I do have the spell, which I'm going to place it on them right here and try to take down as many as possible. We will deploy our Harpies to go in and help. So right now we do have the Murloc. I'm gonna try and wait for a second if we can to deploy him and save up as much gold as possible. But in the meantime, I'm gonna take that tower down. You do have 3 different towers that you can potentially capture. I don't think it's a necessity to try and get them all. As long as you're making your way clear and you're going towards the boss, you're gonna be in a sweet spot. So summoning all of those Murlocs will be very, very important. Now we do have a lot of waves right here. I do want to stop them with the spell before deploying anyone else, because they can be very, very dangerous. That's why I really think that you need to have a spell in here. So we're gonna deploy a Quillbore right there to poison them and slowly kill them. Hopefully they will die. There we go, beautiful. We still have our tank doing some serious damage right there. I'm gonna try to pick that gold from there. I'm gonna send the miner in. Right here we will have to deploy our Murloc quick. Then we are going to deploy some other troops. I will try to drop the tank, so we are getting closer to the boss, so we can summon in some more Murlocs. You see, this time around we did not have a lot of gold prepared. We have a lot of enemies coming our way, so I'm definitely going to place the spell on them right there. It is a bit harder than the previous one, just because of all of the waves coming your way in here, you know. So this should be going down. We're going to deploy the Harpies right here to try and take that tank down. We do have another tank. I'm not going to put a Quillbore. I'm actually going to put a Troll right here to take it quick down, and I'm going to distract the boss with the Quillbore most probably. First, I need to deploy the safe pilot right there to make sure my tower is not gonna get too weak. Okay, so get distracted there for a second, and if everything goes good, the Troll should take the boss down alone. There we go, beautiful. So he's constantly spanning those waves on both of the sides, so you need to keep that in mind. Be prepared with the spell. And the final boss will have a completely different mechanic. Again, he will spawn a lot of ads your way. And spells are important here, but I feel like it's much easier to control the waves with some of your units, and making sure that you're capturing the towers. So these ones are being healed, not something that we're necessarily looking for. This is a better option. Summoning some of the skeleton mages can potentially be pretty helpful. So there we go. Mr. Sneed. One of the worst leaders in the entire game, at least based on pretty much every single tier list I've seen so far. He's always at a bottom. So there you go. You have two different towers right here. You're going to make your way to the left if you want to capture that. I would strongly suggest you to start from there because the boss will send a lot of minis through this area right here, and you want to have both of the towers captured. You capture the first one, then you're going to make your way to the next one. Pretty important to get it done. We're going to send the miner in here. I will deploy the troll just to stop them from taking that gold. We're going to put the quillboar right there as well. And finally, we got our Murloc right there. We lost him instantly. That safe pilot dropped on us. You see all of the ads coming your way. They already made us lose the first tower. So it's going to be a pretty tough one on a higher levels. I can already see it. You see how they're just dropping in from there. So we're going to put a safe pilot on the tower right there to try and get in a bit of more damage. We already have an enemy coming our way. We have a big tank right here. We're quickly going to deploy the troll to stop that miner from stealing our gold. We have a few harpies coming our way as well. We're going to deploy the harpies too to deal with the tank. The quillboar as well to distract the tank so my troll doesn't get completely hammered. And I already have a few units going in. I'm not going to use the spell because we're going to take that incoming army down. We're going to deploy the Murloc, and then we're going to deploy more units, summon more Murlocs at our base, which is actually very, very helpful. We're going to put a gold miner right there to take control of the gold. And let's put some flying units in, and bang, we managed to take this boss down as well. Now, this is the current dungeon that we have on, guys. As long as you're taking control of the towers, keeping the gold under control, don't allow the enemies to take all of the gold. That's why having bound units is good, because you can always send them to stop their miners and stuff. A spell I do think is very important, and the Blizzard, in my opinion, is pretty much the best option in here, at least from what I have available. So we're going to get our tank leveled up a bit more and upgrade complete. From here on, I gotta do a couple of more fights to max the flying one. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna be able to completely finish the entire dungeon with this particular leader, just because he's really under leveled. Even with the aura, he's only level 20, so soon he's already going to be under leveled, while the rest of the team is not actually doing bad, So I should be able to do a couple of more fights on this dungeon. Hopefully you found this guide helpful, guys. Thanks again to Warcraft Rumble for sponsoring the video, and appreciate every single one of you guys watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.